Hey dolls, it's your girl Lilith, your favorite gothy trans girl. How are you doing today? And remember that you are gorgeous and you're totally worth it. Now, let's get into today's subject about today's video. This video is about my transition. We're gonna start a little bit before it, and then I'm gonna lead you through it and talk about how I feel now and talk a little bit about some pros and some cons. So let's get started. We'll kind of go maybe by some questions and I'll do some story time in between. So, did I know I was trans right away? No. No. How did it begin? It began with me dating trans. I had two girlfriends before I transisted, and one day I was hanging out with the girl who I was with the majority of the time, and we were kicking it, and she was telling me she had her estrogen and she was doing her shot, and I was telling her how cool the vials looked and like how attractive it is that she was taking her shot, you know, becoming more womanly. I was like, it's really cool. And she was like, oh, like, is daddy an egg? She was like, do you want to shoot a like, do you want estrogen? And I was like, it's funny because I remember kind of being like, no, like I just think it looks cool. And so I would say that was definitely a moment. And then it's funny because the second girl that I dated, there was a time where she was telling me that she was talking about my dating profile after and then kicking with me. And she was like, I was like, there's no way that this is just like a pansexual cis man or whatever. Like, no way this is a cis man. And so she was kind of picking up on that. And she didn't suggest anything. She's just chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, there never really was a conversation part where I got put in a situation to us talk about me taking HRT. Now, there was another doll that I kicked it with that was really cool, and she was like, "You're such a cutie. Let's shoot you up right now." Like, and I was like, so what I'm trying to explain is like, some people asking me if I was an egg, some people being like, let's shoot you up or let's get you started on pills or topical. So that, I would say, was part of the beginning of an egg crack experience. And what really started to do it was like I was starting to get into like a bi-gender phase where I was starting to dress way more feminine and going through like a femboy phase and having like so much fun with it. Not, I don't want to call it a phase because it sounds like bad, but just going through different styles and just experimenting, you know, with my style and what I like and what made me feel good. And so I was finding myself wearing a lot more women's clothing, and I was like wearing skirts and stuff. And of course, first got started, didn't have the skirts like on the right part of my waist. I do want to do a fun fashion video where I show you girlies like some of the ways that I get styled and stuff. And I would love to spend some more time styling the brand and some cute outfits. But yes, so I was realizing that I was starting to dress very feminine and wear makeup too. And then there was a friend of mine, it was one of my girlfriends, and we had talked about, you know, there's a top and a bottom, and I had talked about wanting to bottom but never tried it, like wanting to bottom from a trans girl. And that was another thing that sort of, I would say, pushed it along, where I had already been dressing very feminine, and then it kind of made me, for some reason, feel like if I was going to experience something like that, that I wanted to experience it as a girl. And that's a very interesting that's a very interesting one to add into the mix. So let's go into so what really pushed me was once I shaved my beard. Like, I was like, I found my hair because I'm a bald trans girl. And I found my hair that finally matched. And I would say any girl who's struggling with finding your right hair, keep going. I went through about, I would say 20 to 30 different wigs before I found the one that I loved, that felt like it was my real hair. So that was a big thing, was getting the hair. And when I first did that, I was doing like I can do a really cute grunge kind of eyeshadow look. I don't know full face makeup yet. I'm lucky that my primary, she'll do it for me. So I'm very lucky with that. So it was like wearing my hair and doing grunge makeup and then being like, you know what, we're gonna go, let's go for it, girl. Shave. And I'm talking about, it was beard, like big, thick purple beard. So like shave the beard off completely. And I would say one of the most monumental parts was the day when she first put on my full face of makeup and I put my hair on and I got in front of the mirror and I was like, oh my God, like I, it like ran me up against the wall where I turned around and like got up against the wall and I was like, like, oh my, like I was like exploding. Like I couldn't believe how gorgeous I looked and I couldn't believe how much of myself I looked like. And I also couldn't believe that it was like looking at myself for the first time in the mirror and not like overlooking myself because I had been so negative. Like say, you know, if you're the type of person that um, before you transition, you look in the mirror and kind of not recognize yourself or something, like something kind of like that energy. And I think over years, I found self-confidence in myself as a male and I think that was through like combing over. I don't know. I couldn't really, I liked how I looked, but I didn't, I guess is what I'm trying to explain. So this was a very unique feeling of like looking in the mirror and be like, oh my God, like that is her, that is me, like Lilith is here. Like, so that was a monumental point. And, oh, what? And so then now we're coming into everyone being super supportive, you know, all my doll friends, my girlfriends being so nice, like everyone being so cool, like converted my social media over, like had a couple people that you need to just delete the message or just ignore them because they just don't understand, which is fine. But overall, like everyone being super nice and like, oh my God, like crazy supportive. And like, that's exactly what I need to, you know, just keep being me, you know? And so that was a beautiful part. And then today also I talked to my father and I texted him photos of me and I told him, hey, I want you to know before like someone else tells you, you know, and maybe if they're confused and they don't really like understand what they're trying to tell you, I don't want you to get the information in a weird way and I want you to hear it from me. So it was a beautiful conversation. I texted him and then he called me like immediately and he just wanted to make sure that like I was okay and my house was okay and my wife was okay and everything was going good. And I just had to, you know, let him know like, yes, everything is going amazing and I'm super happy. And he was so supportive. He was so supportive. And like, he was like, you know, like you always had your own style and always would do your own thing. And he was just very supportive about it, which was really cool and exactly what I needed. So that was another element. Now, let's talk about some cons, some things that maybe I experienced along the way that were pretty crazy. Let's go into some deep inner thoughts. There's some things I experienced that when I transisted, I kind of felt like this is weird. Like there was sometimes it's like a weird dating app thing, but there was like some people that I had matched with that I was looking forward to like going on a date with, you know, and it's kind of weird because I had like this thought being like, oh, like I'm still me, but I don't look like this masculine guy with like a full beard and stuff. And so that was something that kind of was like a weird realization of like that's not me anymore. And this weird feeling of like realizing how much of a people pleaser I was in a bad way and realizing like you don't need to feel bad that this is how you look and you're super happy and you love being a girl. So why does that matter? Because you want to not let someone down that you matched on a dating app with. It's like so minimal and not integral to your life experience. that was a weird one. Some stuff was like maybe some girls who were attracted to me before, I can tell that there was a change, were like very, very supportive, but kind of like if we were gonna get close, then they kind of prefer me not like this. And I experienced an experience like that. That was sort of weird for me. And it was also awakening and progressive for me to move into my future. So that's a really weird one. Um, of course, simple things like being out in public and looking super cute and getting people like maybe laughing at me. Also, the first time going to a grocery store with my wife, and there was a guy like staring me down, and he kept looking at me throughout the store, and we were like, "Oh my God, he's looking!" And then there was another part in the store where he was staring at me and licking his lips, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, and I'm really into girls. I love women, and so it was kind of funny. I was like, "Oh my God, weird attention." But yeah, and then like what else can I think about? I really haven't experienced too much negativity, to be honest. Like, people have been really cool and accepting of me. The people that were not, oh, here's the thing. All the people in my life that had messaged me, say like once I changed my social media and were being like rude and stuff, they all had a commonality that there were people that tried to use me in the past, people that wanted to be around and be involved in my life that I really wasn't close to or didn't really want them to be around. And they seem to just, yeah, have that commonality of like try to use me in the past, try to be around what I had going on. Because I work in the music industry, and I work at a big studio called the Grill Studios in Emeryville, California. And I would also be doing sessions here at my house. So it was like really, if you're into hip hop and rap music, it's like fun. And I would be working with a lot of people that people knew. So sometimes there would be people who would try to be around for weird intentions because of like music industry stuff. So some of those people, they fell into categories like that as well. So I would say like one thing is like, when you do get the negativity, sometimes don't look at the negativity, but look at the person who's giving the negativity. And it was also funny because one of these person was someone that I knew was very close to their best friend. Like, well, sorry, they were really good friends for a while, and one of their friends lived with me for a while because he needed some help when he had a knee surgery. And then they're not really that great of friends anymore. And he was explaining to me like, oh, ever since COVID, this person sort of like lost their mind, and like they don't even talk anymore. So that's why I'm sort of, I know I'm rambling, but I'm just trying to get you dolls to understand that sometimes when these people are, negative, they're not even attached to the friend group anymore. They might even be outcasted from it. Like, they're just look at who's being negative, and it will always make sense. So don't feel bad about it. And let's end with some beautiful notes. I feel so happy. Oh my God. Seriously. I feel so gorgeous. I feel so cute. I feel so me. I've also been like taking so much more photos and making sure I'm like posting on social media all the time, because I have a clothing brand called Dead Zone Pop Star. And it's like, as a male, I like gave up on a lot of things, and I think I was being very stagnant and just accepting things for like what they were, and I wasn't like pushing myself. And for all the amount of work I've had to do to like push myself to get to this point, it has like got me in a repetition of loving to push myself. So I was starting to starting to realize that I just need to like work a lot on myself and my clothing brand, and music as well. If you know, I did a lot of music before, and I still want to do music, but I want to focus on myself and the clothing brand and still be able to do music as like a hobby for now. But oh my God, so anyone who is thinking about transitioning, or who has, or you're going through it now, just know that you're worth it. You're so gorgeous, and be the person you want to be, and don't let the world bring you down. And you could be that super gorgeous girl that you've always wanted to be. And it's your girl, Lilith Killz. I hope you guys all have a good one. I'll see you next time.